Good evening. I'm Mayor Ron Nirenberg with Bexar County Commissioner Justin Rodriguez, and we're joined tonight by Metro Health Director Dr. Claude Jacob, and this is our COVID-19 update for the San Antonio community. We have some more good news this week. According to our weekly progress and warning indicators, we continue to go in a downward trajectory in the number of cases of COVID-19 being reported. In addition, our hospitalizations, ICU admissions, and number of people on ventilators have all decreased even more compared to last week. And some additional good news this week, our positivity rate is 3.9%. Last week we were at 5.0%. While we do see improvements in hospitals, our overall health system remains in the high stress score. The overall risk level, however, has decreased to mild for the first time since the week of July 20th, 21. July 20, 2021. So as you can see, your work pays off. It's continuing to pay off. So please keep masking up regardless of your vaccination status. We need to remain vigilant as we continue to move in the right direction. If you're still unsure about getting vaccinated, I encourage you to consult with your healthcare professional and visit covid19.sanantonio.gov to get answers to your questions. Now let's move on to today's case numbers. Today we're reporting 373 cases of COVID-19. Our 7-day moving average has gone down now to 436. Thankfully, there are no new deaths to report this evening, but we have lost well over 4,500 of loved ones in this community, so please continue to keep them and their families in your prayers. Over in our hospitals tonight, there are 553 patients with COVID-19. There were 56 new admissions for COVID-19 within the last 24 hours. 206 folks are in the ICU, and 100 are on ventilators. 80% of patients in area hospitals are unvaccinated, and 20 patients are children. Again, good numbers to report. But by no means are we done with this, so please continue to be vigilant, and we can continue to keep it moving in the right direction until it's ultimately behind us. Let me turn it over now to Commissioner Rodriguez.
Great, thank you, Mayor, and want to echo the fact that the numbers are looking really good. Of course, we can't let our guard down. We still have over 550 folks in area hospitals. Significantly, 8 out of 10 of those folks in our hospitals are unvaccinated, so still opportunities for folks to get vaccinated, both at the city side at the Dome, of course, University Health at Wonderland, so we want to encourage people to get vaccinated. Also, we have the convergence of flu season coming up here over the next few weeks. Also, opportunities to get your flu vaccine in addition to your COVID vaccine. There's an opportunity in Precinct 2 in our area, not this coming Saturday, but the following Saturday, the 16th, at Nelson Wolff Stadium. That's going to be going on all day from about 9 to 2 on October 16th. So if you've not gotten your flu vaccine, make sure we don't ignore that this flu season. Really can exacerbate health issues if you're looking at potentially COVID and the flu. So again, really no excuse, folks. Let's make sure you're getting your COVID vaccine and make plans, if you haven't already, to get your flu vaccine as well. And of course, keep masking up and staying safe. The numbers are trending great, but we're certainly not out of the woods, and we want to keep our diligence in making sure that we're being safe out there. So thank you, Mayor. That's all I got.
Great, thank you. And as Dr. Jacob says, the holidays COVID-19 likes company, and so as we gear up towards the holidays again, we want to get these numbers as low as possible and the infection rates as low as possible. If you've not received your second dose of your 1-dose Johnson & Johnson COVID-19, if you've not received your second dose of the COVID-19 vaccine or your first dose, which is the only dose of the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine, you are still eligible to receive a $100 HEB gift card if you visit a Metro Health vaccination clinic. To do so, this incentive will be available until supplies last. To find a testing location or a vaccine clinic, you can visit our website, covid19.sanantonio.gov. You can also call the COVID-19 hotline by dialing 311 and selecting option 8. Please continue to wear a mask and get vaccinated. Do it for yourself, do it for your family, and do it for San Antonio. We have come a very long ways, and we are almost into 2 years of battling COVID-19 in our pandemic, and we are getting ever so closely to putting this pandemic finally to rest, but we are not there yet. Please continue to do your part. And as you know, we have assistance available for you if you're struggling paying rent or utilities, or you're seeking food assistance, or even help getting a job. You can call 311, and help is available for all those types of assistance that the city and the county have put together in our training program or our emergency housing assistance program. Again, please call 311 or visit the website covid19.sanantonio.gov. Again, Dr. Jacob, myself, and the commissioner are available for questions.
Dr. Jacob, can you tell us how the first 3 days at the Alamo Dome went when it came to COVID-19 boosters? You know, at the Wonderland Mall, if I'm not mistaken, we saw well over 1,000 people on its first day. So how were the first 3 days at the Alamo Dome last week?
Thank you for the question. So far to date, again, we've been there for the past week, since last Wednesday. So we're showing to date 1,700 booster doses have been given at the Alamo Dome, as well as our Metro Health pop-up clinic. So we've seen quite a bit of foot traffic over at the Alamo Dome, which is consistent with what we heard over at Wonderland. We're pleased to see that the word has gotten out and folks are trying to protect themselves. So 1,700 doses of booster shots given to date between the Alamo Dome as well as our Metro Health pop-up clinics.
And are the Alamo Dome's hours going to stay the same, Wednesdays through Fridays for now?
Yes, so the Alamo Dome hours have been adjusted for the last couple of weeks. We are open Wednesday through Friday, 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. So we've doubled the number of hours. Instead of a 4-hour slot, we now have an 8-hour window, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, each week. So far so good, but that's the schedule that we have set at the Alamo Dome.
And Commissioner Rodriguez, what is it looking like at Wonderland Mall? Are there still a significant number of people showing up for booster shots?
There are. I don't have the numbers as of today, but I know it's been very steady over the last few days. We anticipate keeping those hours the same. And I think as you mentioned, Joey, as of I think a few days ago, somewhere around 1,000 so far. We're probably ticked over that, through Monday. But it's been steady, and we anticipate hopefully keeping those hours the same so that folks can come out there and take advantage of those hours throughout the week.
Mayor, I wanted to ask about Train for Jobs, SA, and SA Ready to Work. There was a lot of talk about the program right before Delta started to get its surge. Do you have any updated data as to how many people have completed or gotten jobs under Train for Jobs, SA?
I don't have that number on me, but we are updating that number regularly. As you know, we're working with our Workforce Development Director, Mike Ramsey, both on the Train for Jobs program, which still has slots available, and people were, the numbers were accelerating as obviously unemployment benefits were ending. But we're also working on standing up the SA Ready to Work voter-approved program that will begin shortly into 2022, so we can get you those updated numbers, Joey.
Okay, we have a few text questions. Let's see. This one's probably going to be for the commissioner. Alexis with News 4 wants to know how the COVID situation is in the county jail. There was a recent inmate death that was announced due to COVID-19. Are there any issues over there, or sort of a rare occurrence at this point?
Yeah, I think what we're getting is there's nothing out of sort or out of the ordinary. I'm looking at today's numbers over at the jail. About 20 inmates tested positive, and I think that particular incident is pretty isolated. I think it was a cumulative number of what I've got is 2 deaths at the jail over the course of COVID. So I don't have any details on that particular inmate, but again, I think it was just a matter of an isolated incident. The numbers still look pretty good. We do know that we're dealing with increased number population-wise at the jail. I think we're somewhere around 4,600 there in the jail population, which is the highest it's been over the last few years. So the courts, everybody's working the best they can, the DA's office, prosecutors, to make sure we can start moving those out of the jail as quickly as possible. But there is still a lot of in and out, and that may have contributed to this particular inmate's death.
Perfect. Crystal from Telemundo would like to know what are the city's guidelines for upcoming holidays, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas? Are there any planned restrictions for the major gatherings or mask usage, etc.? And sort of compounded into that is the city preparing for another possible COVID-19 wave as a result of the holidays, and our virtual celebration still a recommendation per the CDC?
Multiple parts of that question, or those questions. So let me just say this. First of all, we are expecting guidance from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. We do work in concert with our state level partners so that we can be consistent with the messaging out there. So far, we have not yet issued any additional guidance regarding Halloween. What you've heard from the mayor is the importance of being vigilant even through the holidays. So we are mindful that there's still a subset of the population not yet vaccinated. So we do remind folks to be extra careful, remain vigilant. Again, mask up, vax up if you're eligible. We are paying close attention to where our federal agencies are in the mix in terms of the Food and Drug Administration, as well as the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and the Advisory Committee. So as the guidance becomes available, we'll make sure to communicate that. But so far, we have not yet issued instructions or guidance. We are reminding folks systematically to remain vigilant and just think about the holidays. Last year, different from this year, we did not have vaccine during the holidays, so there was quite a bit of angst and concern. This year, the good news is that we have a large subset of the population already vaccinated, fully vaccinated. We're getting booster shots out there. We're getting the third doses out there, and just making sure that when the guidance is available, we'll be sure to communicate that to the residents of the city and the county.
Dr. Jacob, do you believe that the booster shots that people are receiving will help prevent or mitigate the possibility of being a breakthrough case?
Good question. Again, we're learning with each passing day about this virus and about the variant. So just know that what's been recommended by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is that we get these shots in arms. The whole point of this is to mitigate additional burdens on our area hospitals and for protecting residents. And so for now, this is the way to go. We are making sure that residents confer with their providers, with their clinical care providers, and we are making these shots available just like our partners at the county. So that's why you see the activity over at Wonderland, as well as at the Alamo Dome and our pop-up clinic. So we'll continue to message that accordingly, and hopefully we'll have a good and safe holiday season. But for now, we stay on message.
Mayor, unrelated to COVID, tomorrow the City Council is going to be discussing redistricting for the City Council districts. With the new census data, you know, with the state, when it comes to congressional districts, it's always an uphill battle. What are your thoughts going into the City Council's redistricting of its 10 districts?
Well, a few things. First of all, we will have to do redistricting. We know our city's growing. The geographic contours of our city relative to population are changing. We know the city is growing ever westward as well in terms of population density. So there's no doubt we are going to go through a redistricting process. The good news for the local level is here in San Antonio, the city council is nonpartisan. So you're not going to have the kind of partisan bickering that you would see featured at the state and federal level. I think there's going to be a pretty good discussion about whether at some point, which would have to be authorized by the voters through a charter change, whether 10 districts is enough for the city. I tend to think that with the growing population, we might need to consider adding a couple of districts potentially, but that would be a phase 2 discussion, because that would also be a work that would have to do that would be required of a charter election in addition. So there's a lot of speculation. I will say this, we want it to be objective, we want it to be fair, and so we also want the voices of community represented in those discussions. So the process of redistricting is going to be subject to discussion. I guess that's tomorrow, and I expect our city council is going to be very attuned to ensuring great transparency and community representation in the process of redistricting.
All right, thanks, y'all. That's it.